Eve, you've fought in just about every organization you can think of, and they all haven't had the same rule set. Some of them have been overseas. For this particular system that they have at the rules meeting, did you find a lot of fighters asking questions, getting involved? Because we'll even see on other fight cards, like, just because you're in a different state, the rules can be a little bit different, and they don't even find out until halfway through the fight. They say, "Well, I thought it was one hand versus two hands." Like, have people been really getting into asking questions about the system?
The biggest question the guys have been asking is about elbows, because there are no elbows allowed. And that's a big deal for a lot of guys, especially the Americans, because, you know, mixed martial arts here, there's a lot of elbows being thrown when you hit the ground. So that's the one difference. And the reason for that is, you know, elbows cut, guys. And if you get cut this week and you can't fight 5 weeks from now because of a suspension or something like that, that's going to be a problem, especially when we get to the playoffs, the quarters and the semis. If you get cut in the quarters and you won the fight, but you can't continue, and then the guy that you beat, he can continue because it was a decision or whatever, that's a problem, because it's a merit-based system, and we just want to eliminate as many things as possible to keep the guys that are earning their shot, to keep them having the opportunity to earn that $1 million.
No elbows on the ground, but what about standing?
No elbows at all.
Oh wow!
Like, don't even bring them to the cage.
And speaking about how a little rule set can change, whether it's elbows or what have you, is there anything in your fight days, Eve, that you could share with us? Maybe a funny story where a promoter, they had to change a rule set maybe last minute, and you had to go out there and kind of improvise.
Man, there's so many different fights, and I got hit in the head so many times that I can't remember a certain thing, but. You know, I'm just a surprised that the rules meetings are different now, because you don't have the guy asking about the heel kicks to the kidneys anymore. That was always a question that was like permanent. I thought that was going to be stuck to the sport for the rest of my life, but that's out of the question now. No, there hasn't been anything, but I fought way back in the day, man. We had fights where guys like talked about. I fought Shannon Rich one time, and they wanted to throw nut shots. I'm like, this is stupid. This is retarded. Like, why would we do that? Like, that doesn't even make sense. I'll fight any of you if we get throw nut shots.
How would you have liked the matchup? Yves Edwards, the uncrowned UFC lightweight champion, which you should have been crowned a champion. Dude, you were phenomenal in your prime. You versus the late great Jens Pulver from that era.
Oh.
How did you like yourself in that fight?
Southpaws.
Oh man, I think about that fight a lot. That's a fight I'm sad that it didn't happen. I have a lot of respect for Jens, man. He's one of those guys that I came up looking up to. You know, we're still in the same age group, we're in the same era, but he was there first. He was the first UFC lightweight champion, and he was the guy that everyone was gunning for. I love my chances in that fight. I think back then, if I got a chance to get in there with Jens, we would see Jens wrestle a lot more than we did in the past. We'd see his wrestling pedigree come out.
My man.
That would pick him apart.
It's one fight I always wanted to see. I'm always on the underground, and they're like, oh, dream matchups. What's one of your, you know, I'm like, hey, one. I want to see Jens Pulver, Yves Edwards. That would have been one.
I always
for the
want
books.
to see Don Fry and Marco Huas.
Ooh, that's a good one, too.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
Yeah, all right.